Hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and dear sisters of CA Final. Welcome to Reading Cafe once again. And today we are going to revise Essay 505, that is external confirmation. And the entire 500 series of standards and auditing is really important. And this is one of the most important from the 500 series. And these are the revision videos. And in case you don't have any fundamental understanding of the topic, you should not refer to this video. You should watch this video only if you have a basic understanding of the topic. And these videos are really important as a last day revision, and these keynotes I have downloaded from C. Atul Agarwal Telegram group. So I have given all the due credit to him, and wherever required I have added my handwritten notes as well. Let's start and read with me. So what is external confirmation? External confirmation is basically a substantive audit procedure. An auditor uses external confirmation as a means of obtaining audit evidence. But what is the meaning of external audit? External confirmation. It is a direct written response from a third party to the auditors, where the auditor directs the third party to give a direct written response regarding some matters about the audit. What are the confirmation requests that the auditor may send to the third party? There are two types of confirmation requests. One is positive confirmation request, and another is negative confirmation request. In the positive confirmation request, the third party is requested to respond whether he agrees or disagreed with the information in the request. However, in case of negative confirmation request, the third party should respond only if it disagrees with the information in the request. That means if the third party disagrees to the information provided in the request, only then the third party will answer or respond in a negative information request. However, in a positive confirmation request, however, in the positive confirmation request, third party would respond even if it agrees. If confirming party reply without verifying the information is correct, then the auditor shall reduce the risk by using requests that do not state amounts. However, use of blank confirmation requests result in lower response rates. Now, requirements. Question number 1 is external confirmation procedure. What is the audit procedure regarding external confirmation? This is just like a story in 4 points. Number 1 is determine the information that is needed to be confirmed. Number 2 is select the appropriate party, confirming party. Number 3 is design the confirmation request. Number 4 is send the request and follow up. The first is determine the information that is required to be confirmed. Second is select the appropriate confirming party. Third is design the request, and fourth is send the request. The next topic is management refusal to allow to send the confirmation request. What if the management refuses the auditor to allow to send a confirmation request? In that case, the auditor shall inquire as to the management reasons for refusal and seek audit evidence, and also check the reasonableness behind such refusal. Number second is evaluate the implications of such refusals on the auditor's assessment of risk of material misstatement, including the risk of fraud and NTA avoidable too much. The number first is the reasons for refusal and the reasonableness. Number third is evaluate the implication of such refusal, the risk of fraud, and nature, timing, and extent of audit evidence. Third is perform alternative audit procedure. Number fourth is if the auditor conclude that the management's refusal is unreasonable, the auditor is unable to obtain reliable audit evidence from alternative audit procedure. In that case, communicate with those charged with governance and determine the implication for audit and his opinion. So what are the 4 points if the management refuses? Number first is determine the reasons for refusal and its reasonableness. Number second is evaluate the implication of such refusal, the risk of fraud, and then NTE of audit procedure. Number third is perform alternative audit procedure. Number fourth is if the management conclude that such refusal is unreasonable and the auditor is unable to obtain any further audit procedure, in that case communicate with those charged with governance and the implications of the audit and his opinion. And if the management request not to seek confirmation due to some reason, and auditor agrees to the management request. So the previous question was the auditor does not agree to the management confirmation request of refusal. However, if the management request to not to seek confirmation and the auditor agrees, in that case the auditor should consider the validity of the grounds and assess the management integrity and ask the management to submit a written confirmation, a written form including the reasons. And if in auditor's opinion the same is not valid, that written confirmation, the written request or the written reasons are not valid, in that case the auditor may modify the report. So if the management requests not to seek confirmation due to some reason, the auditor agrees to management request. In that case, the auditor should consider the validity of the grounds and assess the management integrity and ask the management to submit a request in written including the reasons, and if in auditor's opinion such reasons are not valid, then modify the report. And the question is very old credit balance of trade payable, no confirmation is available, then what has to be done by the auditor? Number one is identify the trade payable. If it is not traceable, then it is not a case of pending litigation. It might be a case of that income hidden in previous year, and then apply alternative audit procedure and not rely entirely on the management confirmation and include in the audit report by way of a modification. So first, this might not be a case of pending litigation. This might be a case of income hidden in previous year. Perform further audit procedure or alternative audit procedure, not rely entirely on the management confirmation, and the last resort, modify the audit report. The next question, what is the next question? That is the reliability of the response to confirmation request. That is, if the third party responds to a confirmation request, an external confirmation request from the auditor, but what is the reliability? How can an auditor rely? If the auditor identifies the factors which give the doubts about reliability, then he shall obtain further audit evidence to resolve these doubts. And if the response is unreliable, then auditor shall assess risk of material misstatement including risk of fraud. And if non-response, then auditor shall perform alternative audit procedure, because the third party is not legally liable to respond to the auditor, but it is expected that third party would respond. But in case of non-response, the auditor has to perform an alternative audit procedure because he cannot sue the third party for any non-response. Exception, meaning difference between the information requested to confirm and the information provided by the confirming party. What does the exception mean? That is, the confirmation that the third party has given is different from what has been asked. In that case, the auditor will investigate the exception and to determine whether or not to rely the indicative of misstatements. Now, negative confirmation request. Negative, I already discussed what is a negative confirmation request. It is a confirmation request on the third party when the third party has to respond only if it disagrees with the information provided in that confirmation request. So it provides less persuasive audit evidence than positive confirmation, because obviously if in case of agreement the third party need not to respond to the auditor, that is in case of negative confirmation, then there are chances that the third party will respond only if the information provided is wrong and it is prejudicial to the interest of the third party. But however, in any case, when it is prejudicial, the information provided is wrong, but it is prejudicial to the interest of the company, not to the third party. In that case, the third party will not respond. This is quite logical. In that case, the third party will not respond to a negative confirmation request. So there are instances when the negative confirmation request should not be sent. But the question here is when the negative confirmation request should be sent. So the basic understanding is when the risk of material misstatement is low. That is the first point, and obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding the operating effectiveness. Number second is population of items of subject to negative confirmation comprises large number of small items. When there are a large number of small items, there is no need to ask for response from the third party in case of agreement. Number third is very low exception rate is expected. It is expected that there would be a very low exception rate. Number fourth is auditor is not aware of the conditions cause recipient to disregard such requests. The auditor is not aware that there can be any condition when the recipient or the third party will not respond. So what are the 4 points? Number one is very assess the risk, very low risk of material misstatement. Population of items are very large number of small items. Very low exception rate is expected, and auditor is not aware of the conditions cause the recipient to disregard such request. However, non-response for negative confirmation request does not mean there is some misstatement. As in negative confirmation request, confirming party respond only if disagrees. That means if there is any non-response in case of negative confirmation request, there may be agreement from the third party. However, confirming party more likely to respond only if the information request is not in their favor. Okay. Next question is examples of alternative audit procedure for account receivable balances. 3 things are to be examined. Number one is subsequent cash receipts, shipping documentation, and sales near the period end. In case of account receivable balances or debtors balances, that is the subsequent cash receipts, shipping documentation, and the sales near the year end. And in case of account payable balances or creditors balances, examine subsequent cash disbursements or correspondence from the third parties and records such as goods receipt notes. Now, a very important question, that is the situations where external confirmation can be used. What are the situations where external confirmations can be used or generally used? Just remember the keywords: bank balances in case of inventories held with third party, the property title deed held with third party, account receivable balances or debtors balances, accounts payable balances or creditors balances, undelivered investments, loan from lenders, and outstanding share application money. What are the keywords? Bank balances, inventories lying with third party, property title deeds lying with third party, debtors and creditors balances, undelivered investments and loans taken, and outstanding share application money. And the last question, last but not the least, factors to be considered while designing the confirmation request. Well, an auditor would design the confirmation request. What are the factors to be considered? The assertions being addressed, risk of material misstatement including the fraud risk, layout and presentation of the request, prior experience on audit of similar engagements, methods of communication, management authorization to confirming party to respond to the auditor, and ability of the confirming party to provide the information. This is quite logical that the assertions being addressed are to be considered. The risk of material misstatement including the risk of fraud are to be considered. Number third is layout of presentation, which would be very important for the confirmation request. Number fourth is prior experience of the auditor is very important in such kind of audit engagements. Number next is method of communication is quite important, and next the management authorization to the confirming party to respond to the auditor, respond only if authorized. And number last is ability of the confirming party to provide the information. And you can see one line written over here, also refer book for question number 82, 86 and 87 for page number 185. These are the reference to my textbook that I refer. These are nothing to do with you. You can refer to the ICI material for any question. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. Please subscribe to our channel in case you find our revision lectures very helpful, and please do not refer to these videos for the first reading. And I will be uploading several videos hereafter in different topics of auditing. Until then, have a good day. Bye bye.